Man, this project is growing legs. I'm trying to keep up with it. You gotta view Ultra as nothing more and nothing less than a great con. Absolute social engineering, which is always a con. It's always a substitute for religion, and a bad substitute. All social engineering is bad. It's flawed. Much like a communism, pure socialism, fascism, Maoism, it is all wrong. It's absolute narcissism. So we have MK Ultra. Like let's kind of rewire the culture to our own ends. We can use drugs. We absolutely can do that. We can plant people into organizations where they con people into thinking, I'm taking these drugs for liberation. Well, it turns out it really wasn't. Yeah, that guy who ran the Hate Street Free Clinic, oh, there was a winner. Or Timothy Leary, oh boy. Did he have anything to do with the federal government? Yes, he absolutely did. Was he a profound money grubbing fraud? Yes. Did he have an impact that was negative on society? Yes. How did that warrant turn out? How did the 60s turn out? Vile, distorted, grotesque. Did MK Ultra have anything to do with it? A phenomenal amount. Let's go back in time to the heady times of the 1930s. Let's look at Stalinist and Hitlerite propaganda. Let's take a look at that. Was it effective? Well, yeah and no. With the Russians, they can't get anything right. The Germans, absolutely. Mind control, it's kind of a clumsy word. No, it's just conning people into thinking vice is virtue and virtue is vice. It's Orwellian before. Well, Orwell was very much aware of the cons and lies involved with communism and socialism. Can't get beyond that. I mean, the man wrote a lot of stuff on the subject, so you can try and mince, but you're always going to be wrong on that note. Yeah, social engineering, bad. Some forms of religion, bad. Some, better than social engineering. And you can argue this forever, but you probably don't know what you're talking about, so I'm not going to bandy words with you until you spend 5 or 6 years looking into it. So we have MK Ultra. What were they up with her too? You'd really have to ask Charles Manson about that. You have to do some discussing with the district attorney's office in LA, the parole board in Frisco and LA. Everybody connected with Manson, which is almost everybody you could imagine who would have anything to do with it. Oh yeah, hush ups, tons of it. MK Ultra, that's what it exploded. It was imploded. It was a disaster for her culture. It had ramifications everywhere, which makes it lovely to trace down the tendrils of this. Because we have a nucleus, and we have a pretty effective nucleus. It was a perfect storm in the person of Charles Manson. It's where it all ended up accidentally, as an accident waiting to implode. And again, you cannot get around that. There's just far too much serious evidence. I mean, Manson never really spilled the beans, pardon the expression. However, they did. He really did. If you want to sit down and listen to Charles Manson's raps, which I think are lyrical and wonderful, he admits everything. He says everything, but it's in such pretty clear prison lingo that anybody can. Yeah, it's not a code. It's not bibliomancy. It's, yeah, he said everything and had a good time doing it. There was no chance of him ever going to death row. It was not going to happen. He was bought off. Absolutely bought off. He wasn't going to die. They probably told him that he would probably have a chance for parole, so he, yeah. And the man wasn't stupid. He was actually a pretty damn bright man and knew that he wasn't going to get out of there. Well, yeah, a nut up before you go to prison. Yeah, maybe that'll help you out. Yeah, it did. Uh, Stay weird because people donate money to your books. It worked. He was about as rich as an inmate can be. He didn't lack for anything. The attention, wonderful. Was he a good prisoner? He was terrible. Just fucking awful. Caught. One thing, he was a junkie. I mean, hardcore. He was a junkie. People don't know that. You can be a junkie in prison very easily, and he was. Was he dealing for drugs? Yeah. How is he milling it in? Couldn't tell you. Guards. I mean, Manson always had people working in the outside for him, just like Aryan Brotherhood or any other wonderful gang you can name. And think about Aryan Brotherhood. They really weren't that Aryan. And they turned on each other. It's like, oh, God. And it was kind of Mr. Racist in the inside and the outside. Not as much. Some of them were hardcore Peckerwoods, but those are the ones who were going back to prison pretty quick. Some of them just didn't want to spend that much time in the penitentiary. MK Ultra washed all over the prison system. Oh, of course it did. I mean, MK Ultra was using returning cons as just couriers of crypto hippie nonsense propaganda. The need for people to be rebels in a convenient way, boy, that was the 60s. 90% of the kids didn't know what the fuck they were talking about or thinking of. It's much like today. People will go on about stuff. Well, and the whole drugs things. Do you think drugs are still pot is technically illegal because the government thinks we should be taking it away from us? That's absolutely bullshit. It's the biggest con of the last 25 years. And of course they want you to have pot. Pot makes you dumber. It doesn't make you smarter. It makes you more malleable. It gives you the sensation of being creative with really a fraction of the creativity you could actually employ. It inhibits rational thinking to the intent. It was beautiful. Look at how people talk about politics and voting. They're dumb as bread. That's, again, this is the legacy of MK Ultra. And the LSD thing they had to kick to the curb because it was just, well, number one, people don't want to stay on it for the rest of life. Most people don't. It's some people do, and well, see where that gets them. Yeah. So yeah, this is my prelude to MK Ultra. I'm going to walk you through the sections I know about and have speculated upon, given thought to, and some just wild conjecture because it's my channel and I can do that. soon.